Premier of the Northwest Province Lazarus Mokgosi says the provincial government is hard at work in building state-owned enterprises that will seriously contribute to the economy of the province. Following the Provincial Economic and Investment Advisory Council sitting held at Klerksdorp in the Matlosana local municipality, here is Premier briefly highlighting this and some of the key issues which was discussed in the session.
You will recall that during my opening of the legislature, I insisted on that we need to have a turnaround on our state-owned enterprises. We are looking at having state-owned enterprises that will contribute to the economy of the province. We are looking at a state-owned enterprise that will create jobs. We are looking at a state-owned enterprise that will be an active participation in the entire value chain of the economy of South Africa. And therefore, we want also a state-owned entity that is not going to be reliant to be bailed out by government from day to day. Now, we need to have a turnaround strategy for our state-owned enterprise. So we are here to have a discussion with the panel of experts which were appointed by the 6th administration to receive a report on the assessment of our state-owned enterprises from the Department of Economic Development to Arts and Culture to Human Settlement. And we have received a positive report and we are looking at it and we are happy with the report. We are also later going to then develop an action plan that as it relates to the turnaround strategy. But also at the same time in the meeting, we looked at the report that relates to the provincial growth and development strategy, because we believe that the PGDS is important as a foundation for us to start to plan the trajectory of the province and reposition the province in our key foundation of our economy, which is agriculture, which is tourism, which is mining, which is manufacturing and others. And therefore, PGDS should be our guiding document. And therefore, the report we received yesterday needs some fine-tuning there, and finally, we will approve it. We'll table it before the Economic and Investment Advisory Council for final ratification and for implementation. But lastly, we also spoke about infrastructure projects in the province that we are looking at as it relates to the mega projects, which are key important projects for the province that are going to ensure that we ignite the economy of the province.
The Premier has also today hosted a session of his Infrastructure Coordinating Council at the Mabato Palms Hotel in the Mahikeng local municipality.
We are looking at also what we discussed yesterday as it relates to infrastructure. We also had a presentation from Infrastructure South Africa. We did in the 6th administration made submissions of about 144 projects for funding from Infrastructure South Africa. Now, what we did today, the presentation was to tell us at what stage are all the projects. Others are at initiation, others are at planning, others are at levels of resourcing and so on. But from where we are sitting, we are happy with progress. We also noted that out of all the projects that we have submitted, we've got about 7 projects which are already at a stage where finally they will be submitted for purpose of approval. And that has to do with mega projects in particular in the province. That is bulk water, roads projects. We are also looking at mega city projects and so forth in Matlosane, in Marikana, and so on. Those are the projects that we are having. But over and above that, we are also taking advantage of the opening window, which is having a deadline of around the 13th or so of December for purpose of resubmission for other projects which might not have been able to succeed through other stages for approval. But this also, you'll remember that is part of our efforts, which culminates into all what we have been doing. The third quarter labor survey, you remember, it shows that we have created about 69,000 jobs in the province within the past three months. And therefore, that took us from 54 to 51%. We are happy with that progress. It's good progress, but it's not enough. But also, you'll know that 2 days ago, I open a gold processing plant in Orkney, which has a potential of about 4,500 job opportunities. These are what I said earlier on, that there are efforts that are intended to create jobs. We are still looking forward for other direct investment that are coming. We are looking forward for the delegation from Henan in China. They will be here in a week or two to come and then concretize projects that they are going to undertake in the province. So far we feel that we are doing very well, but it demands a lot of hard work and effort and focus.
Responding to some criticism of taking time by others, Premier says the work of improving the economy, creating jobs and fighting poverty will be done by being responsible, which means following the laws and regulations of government in the province.
Government works in a particular process. Government is highly regulated, and therefore you can't just wake up and do things in a manner that is not in line with how government works. We follow the rule, we follow the law, we follow processes of government, because when you deal with public funds, for purpose of accountability, you need to be transparent, you also need to be responsive. But the most important thing is to ensure that you comply. Now we are going to follow all the legislation to do our things. So people must be a little bit patient for all of this that we are doing.